Welcome back to the channel. It's day 9, but this is a 2-day video. I'm covering days 7 and 8. I had a wedding, as I mentioned in earlier videos, to go to yesterday. So I got in 5 films over the last 2 days. I'm just going to combine it into one video to catch up. Um, First off, Friday was found footage day, which I'm not a huge fan of found footage. I think it's run its course. To me, it's like a parlor trick or a magician's trick. And once you've seen how it's done, it becomes really kind of boring and tedious. But because I just feel like a lot of found footage films are just shot in a way that's repetitious, jump scares and things like that. That I don't know. It's just not a genre that I'm particularly fond of. But be that as it may, we'll talk about some found footage today. The first film I watched was The Taking of Deborah Logan from 2014, directed by Adam Robitel, who did The Insidious Last Key. Really, he's only got a few screen credits other than that, 4, I think. I've seen the Deborah Logan film before. It's about a woman with Alzheimer's who the family brings in a movie crew, because there's your found footage piece. They bring a movie crew to video her activities, and of course her activities get more and more strange beyond just the realm of, say, Alzheimer's. And it turns out that she is possessed by a serial killer who, I guess the story is he's going to kill 5 women in order to have immortality or some shit like that. And he got 4 done and didn't get the 5th one. And now he's taken over Deborah Logan in order to kind of consummate his 5 murders. It's a film. It's not a bad film, but I think like many found footage films, once you've seen all the jump scares and kind of the payoff, even there is a payoff, it doesn't hold up to repeat viewings. And Deborah Logan is the same. I'd seen it before, and I mean, it just kind of washed over me because I kind of knew the end game on it. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad film at all. It's just one. It's a one and done. You've seen it. Time to move on. Next up, I watched the Found Footage Phenomenon documentary on Shudder. Now, this is a good documentary. It's high level. I mean, and it covers what I liked about it is it had all the good ones, all the good found footage films, and the directors that handled them, and they talk a lot about what makes a good found footage film, as opposed to what where the screw ups are on the found footage. It's found footage is a low budget, micro budget type effort. But at the end of the day, I think many of the directors said the same thing that makes any good movie, and that's good characters you care about, so that when things happen to them, you actually give a shit. And I think that goes for slashers or any movie, really. So it was interesting to listen to that. The guy that did Troll Hunter also did. I like Troll Hunter a lot. The guy that did Troll Hunter did The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Great movie. He talked about how he wanted to kind of diversify out of the found footage genre and show that he could do something other than found footage. And he accomplished it with The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I really recommend, if you've got the Shudder subscription, to check out the found footage phenomenon. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Next up, Speak No Evil. This is also a Shudder movie. This was really good. This was right down my fairway. You've got 2 couples, vacationing couples in Italy, and they kind of meet up accidentally at some dinner, and then they start having some conversation, and one thing leads to another, and one of the couple from Holland invites this other couple who they barely know to their house, and so they go their separate ways, and then maybe a month later, the couple, I guess I think it's Finland or Norway. Can't quite remember, but basically this couple with their daughter decide, well, we'll go and visit this couple in Holland. What the heck? I mean, they seem very nice. One was, quote, a doctor. And when they get there, it becomes very uncomfortable. There's a series of increasingly uncomfortable scenes, just uh, awkward is the word I would use. Awkward scenes, and I love that kind of stuff where you've got what appears to be a normal setting circumstance where you've got people just visiting, having fun, and then you got this awkwardness that I'm a sucker for movies like that. So I was hook, line, and sinker in this thing, and of course the awkwardness intensifies to the point where um, the couple with the daughter that are visiting decide that things are getting weird, and they just pack up in the middle of the night and leave, and the little daughter has a bunny, and of course she forgets the bunny, uh, and they have not a real bunny, but like a toy bunny. And they go back. They turn around and go back. I have to take a full point off for that. Fuck the bunny, man. I just tell the kid, look, if you can't keep up with your toys, we ain't going back. Well, they go back, and of course, the worst of worst happens. They decide to stay the extra time once they get back, and it just. Uh, I'm not going to give away the punchline on this because it's really, really good. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but definitely recommend Speak No Evil on Shudder. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I like the payoff. The character decisions. Some of the character decisions were irritating and frustrating. I got to take a point off for that, but I was totally hooked on Speak No Evil. Next up is another Shudder film, 2021's The Sadness. Now I've seen The Sadness before. Robert Jabaz directed it, and this is a Taiwanese virus film about basically you've got this virus that's turning people into maniacal sadists. I don't think it's a zombie film. Uh, Zombies to me are a zombie film is somebody where characters die and then come back to life. That wasn't what's going on here. You've just got people that are uh, they've got this virus, and the virus is creating these. They look like they're infected. They've got black, bloodshot eyes, and they're just doing these horrible things to other people, and it's affecting millions of people. It's a really good film. I think it holds up to repeat viewings. Although I got to admit, on this viewing, I thought, there's some of this that I think they're doing, the director or the script, where you've got gore for gore's sake. Some of it was so over the top on repeat viewings that it's like it just tonally felt out of place with the rest of the film. This was a very serious horror film, and then you got things like one of the guys that's infected stuffs a grenade into one of the president of Taiwan puts it in his mouth during a news conference, and the only thing explodes is his head. Well, we all know that if someone sets off a damn grenade, it's going to do more than just blow someone's head off. So some of that stuff was kind of silly, and I think it tonally kind of took me out of it because the film overall was very serious in nature. But yeah, I think it's still a great film that holds up. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Definitely recommend The Sadness if you haven't seen it. And then finally, I think this is the final film here. The granddaddy of horror films, 1920s, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. John Barrymore's tour de force performance as the doctor who is experimenting and trying to experiment and separate good from evil within the human condition. Really, a tremendous performance. I mean, the first transformation, as probably all of you know, was done with little or no makeup. And then, as the film progresses, um, we have more and more makeup and things like and makeup and there's a he like has a cone on his head. You know, he becomes more and more horrible looking as the transformations get more and more intense. It's a great movie, 1920. It's pretty much recognized as the first great American horror film. This release from Kino, by the way, I highly recommend because it also has other versions of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One is the James Cruise, like a 15-minute version of James Cruise. I think that was done in 1911, 1912, which was good. And then there's a Paramount short of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of 1920. So yeah, this is a great release. Highly recommend it. I give this one a 7.5 out of 10. It is slow in parts, but you know there's a lot of talky scenes in it, so I can't give it a much higher score than 7.5. But overall, I think it's a fantastic tour de force performance from the great John Barrymore. All right, that's going to do it for days 7 and 8. If you've seen any of these films or want to leave comments, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.